Something about your Instagram and your vibe is just like, I think we talked about this last time, the California teen vibe, but you are just cooler than I'll ever be. And you did a road trip that was like essentially like a Volkswagen commercial, where you were just in like all the national parks, living out of an RV. Like you know when you see those people on Instagram,
I was like a
they
travel
make
blogger
living
for a
out
little
of an
bit.
RV look cool and romantic, and then I think about like, if I were in that RV, it'd smell like farts and like my clothes would be everywhere and I'd look like shit.
For some reason, in like all those influencers posts that they put up, there's never any like wrinkled up Taco Bell in the corner of your car.
Yeah.
I just know how bad I would smell and
like
how
fries
gross
in
I would
between
be.
every single seat.
But you did it like you looked like
It was actually quite nice. I was living in, it was like a fucking Pinterest board, the whole thing.
Yes.
I'm like in this van, like, God damn it, I look like I'm in a fucking Pinterest commercial right now.
You saw a geyser, and then the next day you went on a hike, and it's like, oh, and then we cooked over this little Bunsen burner. Like I would have burned the whole thing down. I would have fucking
I can't take full credit for the planning of the trip or the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But I definitely reaped the benefits of the vibe.
It does sound like a Subaru commercial mixed in with like one of those like Knob Creek whiskey ones where they drink out of a tin glass around a campfire at the end.
It's the road trip version of seeing a shirt on a mannequin and being like, ooh, I want that shirt, and then putting it on and be like, oh yeah, I forgot I have breasts.
Yeah, or like
I watched Jimmy do it and I was like, ooh, I want that, and then like, wait, I'm a fat slob that would like burn everything and fart everywhere.
Get attacked by a bear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was definitely intense, you know, to travel, like, you know, we went to like up the California coast over to Montana and then stayed there for like a week and then came down through like Jackson Hole, Yellowstone and did all that stuff. But it went very smoothly. Like it's definitely intense to do it. There's a lot of like upkeep and you're going around in a van and but like we cheated a little bit, you know, like we stayed at some hotels.
Okay, I like
it wasn't
that.
like we weren't roughing it the whole time.
Mm-hmm. That's like when we do Grit Week.
And you have to like call ahead to schedule out like certain campsites, right?
Yeah,
you have to be like, hey, nature, am I allowed to sleep there on like the 30th of August?
Right.
They have like a list set up for you and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like an app that we found that like lets you know cool campsites like in the area, so you can like, it's almost like Airbnb for campsites.
Are you not worried about the super volcano at Yellowstone?
Not really.
We're very worried.
Oh, wow.
Are you?
Well, that's like 2020 has been the year of like all the fear porn online, where they just like they
this
keep
would
playing,
be the time.
They keep playing the hits where they're like, okay, there's murder hornets that are back. There's like all the bees are dying. Like global warming is hitting again.
Double hurricane.
Yeah, double hurricane. Yeah. Pretty soon they're gonna break out the old summer of the shark, increase in shark attacks, and the super volcano is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there was actually a shark attack at the beach I was at like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
We saw this dolphin super close to shore, and we're looking at it like, damn, that dolphin's really close. And then all of a sudden, we hear like an hour later, like that dolphin that you saw got eaten by a shark in front of a bunch of kids. There was blood everywhere.
They learned.
The kids are traumatized.
Yeah,
they learned. How you learned. Have you ever eaten tuna? You've probably eaten dolphin too.
Hard knocks life.
Speaking of bees, though, I don't know if you saw my Instagram.
Oh yes,
but for a while, for almost all of 2019, I housed probably the largest bee population west of the Mississippi.
Was that intentional, or were you harvesting their honey?
I wanted to. That was the goal. I found out about this thing. Chris Hemsworth actually posted like a photo of this flow hive thing that can like, he had like honey on tap. And I was like,
it's like the most boring. What's the most bored a rich person can get? a fucking flow chart. What is it called?
It's a flow hive.
Flow hive.
And you put your bees in this box, and then the honey filters down into like jars, and that was the goal. And so everyone was like, you got to get rid of this beehive. Like it was. You know, at the time it was like this big, and everyone was like, "That's so fucking big. You have to get rid of this." And I was like, "We need the bees. Like, we're doing a good thing,
right?
I'm not getting rid of the beehive." And then like a huge chunk fell, and everyone was like, "Now you have to get rid of it." But like, you know, I was just went out there with a spoon. I was like scraping the honey off. It was delicious. So I refused to get rid of it. They built it back. It ended up being like this big, like no joke. It got so big, the whole thing fell off the branch, and it was probably like 80 pounds of hive just on the ground.
That's like a metaphor. It's like, you know, the bees, they were great, but they got too big for their own good. destroyed themselves.
So wait, I saw it fall, and then what?
Think about it.
What ended up happening?
So it was like the day it fell was the day I like started my camper van trip. So my
Okay.
roommate calls me like, dude, the hive fell, dude. Like all frantic. I can't even understand a word he's saying. I'm like, Kyle, talk to me, man. What's going on? He's like, there's bees everywhere. There's just like, I couldn't even understand what he was saying. I'm like camping. So I didn't even get back for like 2 weeks, and he hadn't touched it. Obviously, it was still on the ground. And it was just this heap of beehive. And there's still like, there's still a sizable hive up there in the tree, like that big. I don't think the queen left.
The queen's still there.
So life goes on.
Okay.
Yeah, life goes on.
Nice.
But I called like, my local hive or beekeepers or whatever, and I was like, how do I translate this into something I can get honey on tap from? And she was like, oh, you shouldn't eat that honey. Like, you don't know, it's Africanized. The bees are like, you don't know, they're mating. They're like cross mating, and you don't want to eat that honey.
No, what you did
I'm like,
was
I did. It was delicious.
Billy?
she probably asked you for the address, and now she's going to show up and harvest your honey. I don't think that there's a profession in America that gets more like free advice calls than beekeepers probably do.
Billy,
Whenever you have like
they
a
could say
small
whatever.
hive in your backyard, you just automatically, I'm going to call a beekeeper.
Yeah, Billy, you want to tell Jimmy about Africanized honey? I mean, you just looked.
Africanized honeybees are actually a real problem because they're invasive and they sting more and they're way more aggressive, and they've actually been a huge problem.
This is our bee expert, Billy.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you,
I didn't know
Billy.
you guys had a local bee
Was it
expert. I would have stopped talking a long time ago.
He's got a farm.
He's got a farm, yeah.
He's got like every animal out there.
Oh, shit. All right.
Last time,
Sorry, just disregard everything I said.
No, he actually reads just Wikipedia and then makes up half the facts. So what he just said very well could be false.
Okay.
Like, actually, most likely is false.
I would actually think that their honey would be tastier though.
Yeah.
Because they're so aggressive about defending it. Like they
Billy,
wouldn't get
what do you
all-
say about that?
They actually escaped from a lab in Brazil. They were trying to create.
See, this is where he's making
No,
it up.
this part's true.
This is actually true. They escaped from a lab. So
Yeah.
it's a problem. Then they spread.
Got it.
Huge issue.
Yeah,
Into
big
Jimmy's backyard.
Is this the plot line of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
they're Brazilian honeybee. They've got big asses.
They escaped from a lab.
Yeah.
Oh, man. See, the best part about Billy is you just have someone around who you just ask questions to. He says it with enough confidence, it doesn't really matter what he says.
Right.
Like, we're just like, okay, that makes sense.
That's really just a secret to life in general.